Okay, let's begin. First, Northeast region.
Maine, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey.
What is this one?
New Jersey.
Somebody saying Massachusetts.
New York, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut.
Right, even when I mixed them up, you guys were still doing them, and you weren't paying attention one bit. I see that look in your eye, it means I wasn't paying attention. You need to pay attention. All right, now let's do the ones that we're learning.
West Virginia, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Kentucky.
These words are already on there still, and you are still getting them wrong? That doesn't make sense.
Kentucky, Tennessee, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia.
All right, very good. And that will be your Southeast region. Starting on page 101. Everybody on page 101. George's trip to the British West Indies. George had many brothers and sisters, but his favorite was his oldest brother, Lawrence. Many were the times he went to visit Lawrence and his wife at their big, beautiful home along the Potomac River. Lawrence had named his home Mount Vernon. Lawrence became very sick. He thought a trip to a warm, sunny island would help him get well. He asked George to come along. Together they sailed to an island in the British West Indies. This was George's first and only trip away from America. They had only been there a short time when George became very ill with a disease called smallpox. And this becomes very important later. It is never pleasant to be sick, but this was part of God's plan for George's life, as you will find out later on. After they were well, George and Lawrence returned home to Virginia. Turn the page. The French and Indian War. For many years, the French had been coming down the Ohio River from Canada. The French said they owned the western frontier land. The English said they owned that same land. The French began building forts along the Ohio River. Then they asked the Indians to help them fight against the English. Some Indians did decide to help the French, but others joined with the English. The governor of Virginia sent George Washington to tell the French soldiers to leave. Again, George Washington traveled through the wilderness. He must have been very thankful for the surveying trip he had made when he was 16. Again, he had to deal with the Indians, sleep outdoors, and hunt for his food. Somebody is flipping through the book instead of staying where I'm reading. Why? Please stay where I'm reading. I am on page 102. Are you on page 102? I'm about halfway down the page, almost. Again, he had to deal with Indians, sleep outdoors, and hunt for his food. When he reached the French, they said, "No, we will not leave." Going back to Virginia was even harder. It was winter and bitterly cold. Once George Washington nearly drowned in an icy river. An Indian shot at him and missed him, but he kept going until he reached the governor of Virginia and told him the bad news. The governor asked George Washington to take American soldiers back to help the English protect the western land from the French. This was the beginning of the French and Indian War. By the way, this war, French and Indian War, took place before the War for Independence. Okay? George Washington fought bravely. In one battle, the horse that he was riding was shot out from under him. He got on another horse, and that horse was shot too. But that did not stop him. He got on a third horse and kept right on fighting. Top of the next page. After the battle, George Washington found 4 bullet holes in his coat, yet he was not wounded. The French and Indian War began in 1754 and ended in 1763. Finally, the English won the war. So who won the French and Indian War?
English.
George Washington had become an excellent soldier and leader and would put those skills to use again very soon. Do you know when he's going to put those skills to use? Very good. During the War for Independence. All right, Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon. After the French and Indian War, George Washington married Martha Custis, a young widow with 2 small children. Mr. Washington took his new family back to Mount Vernon to live. By this time, Lawrence and his family had all died. Mount Vernon now belonged to George Washington. The next 15 years passed happily for the Washington family at their big, beautiful home. Mr. Washington began working in government during this time. Turn the page. All right, let's do the comprehension check, and then we'll stop reading. And we were supposed to do math skills, but we'll see if we have time for that once we finish this. What is a surveyor? What does a surveyor do?
He likes measuring.
Measures land and
Draws maps.
draws maps. Very good. A surveyor, everybody, what does a surveyor do? Measures land and draws maps. That's what a surveyor does. Name 2 ways George Washington's surveying trips prepared him for the French and Indian War. What did he do on the surveying trip that he had to do?
Sleep on the ground in
Yeah.
the wilderness.
Sleeping outdoors,
Gather his skills.
gather his skills. He had to use the skills he learned on the surveying trip during the war, but what were those skills?
To hunt food.
To hunt for his own food. Didn't go to the grocery store to hunt for his own food, to sleep outdoors. But he had to deal with certain things. What did he have to deal with, Paige?
Indians.
Yes, he had to learn how to get along with the Indians and deal with the Indians, right? And how to survive in the wilderness. That's basically the only other thing they have, but we sort of said that by gathering his own food. All right. Why was the French and Indian War fought? Why was this war fought? What was going on? Anybody over here? Everybody on this side of the room is wanting to answer. Everybody on this side of the room is just sitting here. Why did they have to fight the French and Indian War? Nobody over here was listening? Nobody over here knows? Ben?
Because they thought they had they owned the same land.
Yeah, they were fighting over the same land, okay? You know, Canada is above the United States. I don't have the right map up to look at, but you guys know Canada is above the United States, right?
Yeah.
So the French were coming down from Canada into where the Ohio River was, and the English were coming over from this way. So the French were coming down, and the English were coming over, and they both were ending up at the same place in the United States, which would be over here somewhere, guys. And they both were fighting over the same land. They said, "This is our land," and the English would say, "No, this is our land." And then they fought over it, and the English won. Who won the French and Indian War? Oh my gracious, I just told you. Everybody.
England.
Right. And what was the name of the home in Virginia that belonged to George Washington after his brother Lawrence died? Patty? Mount Vernon. Raise your hand if you've ever been to see Mount Vernon, because it is a place you can still go visit today. All right, we're going to do Map Skills 11. Please get out your map skills without the talking. Map Skills 11. Map Skills 11. Now please. We may not get to finish this, but we will do as much as we can. You need your colored pencils. We may finish it tomorrow, so we don't finish it today. Alright. So we're going to start with number 1. Number 1 is this state right here. So where you see the number 1, what state is that? Kentucky. What color do they want you to color it? Blue. A medium shade of blue. A medium shade of blue. If you don't have anything but dark blue, then just color it so that it's sort of medium. Is it really important?
I've never been to Mount Vernon, but I have been
We're
on
not
a
talking about
place.
that one.
It's on the Dime. I forgot what it was called, but
Alright, we'll talk about that later though. Let's focus on what we're doing right now. Let's focus on what we're doing right now. And we'll go back for all these guys. Alright. Number 2. Number 2 is this one right here. So this is so number 2 on your map. Find West Virginia. What color is that one going to be? Green. A light green. There is a darker green, so you definitely want to go with a lighter green or do it lightly. Okay, a lighter green, just do it lightly. There is going to be a darker green. small state, so let's move right on to number 3. It's a little bit bigger. Number 3 is
Virginia.
And when you find Virginia, they want you to color it
Dark blue.
dark blue. Virginia is dark blue, so where you have number 3 on your map, you're gonna color it dark blue. Just color it dark blue, please. You can read what it says. Okay, then don't ask me if it's blue or not, please. I don't know why you wanna do that when you can read what the color pencil says. What page? We're on map skills 9, right?
No.
Yeah, map skills 9, page 17.
You said 11. You said 11.
I'm sorry, but you guys are on the right one. I don't know why I said map skills 11, it's map skills 9. I don't know why I said 11, because we're on chapter 11 in our book, and I saw the 11. Guys, it's map skills 9, and you should know that this is what, are you seeing this?
Well, we had a little.
I'm sorry, map skills 9. Why are so many people on the right one? I mean, I know I said the wrong thing, but the question should have come out long ago
I
if
already
I
colored
said.
the map skills 11 better.
Why? It wasn't even these states, was it?
Well, they had they had both those like.
Oh, it is the same exact map?
Ish,
It's, but it's like a fish. It's the whole thing.
Well, map skills 9 is where we're supposed to be. Let's get back to map skills 9. Alright, just get back to math skills 9. I told you where they were numbered, 1, 2, and 3. What?
When we did the map, right, you said we would do after South Carolina, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. And we did
Let's move on to number 4 now. Number 4 is this one. What is that?
Tennessee.
So where your number 4 is, you're gonna color it teal. And remember what we did last time, if you don't have a teal, you can do blue and green together, blue and green, if you don't have a teal. Some of you do have teal, it's actually labeled teal. But if you don't have teal, you do it blue and you do it green, and it will turn it sort of teal.
You don't have the colors back now. First and then blue.
See, we're not talking now, okay? Stop talking now. Alright, number 5 now. Number 5 is this one right here. What is that?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. North Carolina, they want you to color it gray. If you don't have gray, you can use a regular pencil. You can use black and do it very lightly. Some of you do have a gray colored pencil. If you do, then use it. If you don't, regular pencil or black, very, very lightly will look gray.
You still have to use pencil.
No, you're not talking out. Not talking out. Okay, the next one is number 6, and that is this one over here is where you're gonna find number 6.
Arkansas.
Arkansas. So what color do they want you to do Arkansas? Orange. Arkansas is orange. So number 6 is Arkansas, that's orange. And the one right below Arkansas is number 7, and that is Louisiana, and they want you to color it purple. Number 7, Louisiana is purple. And by the way, you can at least start coloring it, like you can color where the number 7 is, and if you don't get to finish it, you can go back and finish it later. As long as you started coloring it, you'll know what color it's supposed to be. So let's move on to the one right beside that. This is Mississippi. Number 8 is Mississippi, and if you look on the code, they want you to do Mississippi pink. Alright, so if you have pink, use pink. If you don't have pink, then use your red and do it super lightly, and it will look pink enough. Is it important? I told you what to do. If you don't have,
It looks like a shoe.
okay. Yeah, sorta. A raggedy one. Very raggedy, the toe busted out. Let's just get back to this though. Have you done that pink yet?
No.
Alright. Alright, and they went right across Mississippi. Number 9 is Alabama. And Alabama is red. And you already have that to color this pink if you don't have a pink. So you can just move over here and color this red and make sure it's darker. So this one's pink and this one's red. So just make it darker if you're one of those people that does not have a pink. Make sure you can tell the difference. Alright, and then the last one in this row, 8, 9, and 10. Number 10 is right here, so this is Georgia. And Georgia is dark green. We want to specify dark green because we already did light green for West Virginia, right? So you want to do a dark green. If you have 2 greens, then this should be the dark one. If you don't, then this should have just done lightly, and this one should be done darker. And if she comes before we finish, why don't we just go ahead and color these last 2 just a little bit so we know when to stop. Okay, the next one is 11. That's this one. What is it? Alright, well, what is this one though?
South Carolina.
And it's gonna be brown. So color number 11 brown, and number 12 is, tell me the state though.
Florida.
Florida. And so color it yellow, okay?